Before we start, I just want a show of hands. How many people showed up today that have never been to a Neighborhood Watch presentation? Quite a few new people. Fantastic. Thank you. That's great. Larry, I'm just going to go to the next slide for a second. Oh, we have a problem with the clicker again. Can you click for me maybe? Or did it freeze? Okay, here we go. Okay, so this, before I'm going to get into the main thing. Actually, Larry, before we start, I want to do one thing. Let's make sure we record. Okay, it is perfect. Thank you. And can we go to the next slide before this one? I think I had it in the wrong order. Oh, yeah. Okay, so let me start here first. I love to do this at the beginning of every meeting, right? So we're all kind of trekking along at the same time. We have a lot of great information for you today. And so we just have a process we'd like to follow, right? So you heard me ask Larry to record because we started a new process where we're recording all these meetings for people who cannot attend. They can see this on YouTube. So they can even refer to it at a later date if they need to be reminded of something. So we have a couple things, right? We're going to use, thank you. He's doing exactly one of the things I've asked. If you can put your phone on mute or vibrate so it doesn't, go off on you in the middle of the meeting, that would be appreciated. And then if you have a question, raise your hand. I'll use the mic to speak. And then if you have a question, we'll give you a mic to ask your questions, and then I'll answer. So who's ever listening at a later date, they're not going to get frustrated with us saying we can't hear what she's saying and we can't hear the questions. So is that fair? Everyone? Fantastic. Thank you. And then, of course, let's just have fun, okay? So I always like to kick off with fun, so I'm going to start off right now. You saw there's a table in the back of the room. The Arizona Fire and Medical Authority are here because we have a presenter who's going to do some information sharing with you. And there's also some little trinkets in the back. So I don't know if you guys saw this little trinket in the back of the room. Okay. And I'm going to ask you a question. What is this? What is this used for? Now put up your hand. Ah! And if you know the answer, I have a prize for you. Okay, so all right, I'm going to start with this gentleman first. What is this stick?
Well, first of all, it's a 12-inch ruler. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it's used to push and pull things out of the oven.
Okay. Who would have said the same thing? Okay, so 1, 2, put your hand up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, Pat, can I ask you to go get a couple more for me? All right. All right. Prize for you. Who had their hand up? You? Who else had their hand? I thought I saw you with the hand up. You knew what it was, right? Yep. You knew what it was, right? You had your hand up. I could only ask one question, so. Oh, you guys, stop it back there. Look, they got their hands up too. Who else had their hand up? Oh, he's got a question.
Will those sticks work in a 1-gallon paint can?
Yes is the answer. Yes, please. No, she's going to go get the candy. Oh, no. Well, he did at the end, yes. Okay, did I forget to give a gift to anybody else who guessed correctly? Did everyone have it? Okay, fantastic. Okay, wasn't that fun? I came here and I said the same thing. I was like, oh, look, a paint stirrer. I'm going to be doing some work in the kitchen soon. And they said, no, that's not what it is. And I said, well, what do you mean? Look, it's a ruler that's 12 inches. They said, well, don't you see the notch on the bottom? I was like, yeah, it was not like just to go in the can or something. And they said, no. And I went, oh my God, I'm a baker. This is perfect. You know how many burns I've had on my wrist and my hand? So a great little thing I learned today. So thank you. Always a good day when you learn something new. Okay, so for the newbies in the room, if we can go back to the slide that I had, let me go see if I can do this. All right. I'm the clicker lady. All right. So, what does Neighborhood Watch do? Our mission. It's a department within the posse, and we have neighborhood watch teams in the community. And so, our purpose is, thank you, Sally. Our purpose is to work hand in hand with the sheriff's department, right? To be the eyes and ears of the neighborhood, right? So, if we see something, we report it, we help our neighbors, right? We want to make sure our community is safe. And there's three things that I like to say we do. One is inform, right? We provide support and we educate. And every time we have one of those meetings here, like today, that's part of the education, right? We bring in a speaker and then we give you some information about a topic. And today we have with us Jessamine, and he's from the Arizona Fire and Medical Authority. And I have association up there, so my apologies. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about emergency preparedness. When he's done, I just want to do a recap at the end of the year. Be very quick on the neighborhood watch piece. I really think it's important, and I'm sure you guys are here mostly to hear about this. So I'm going to let him start off today with his topic, and then we'll go to mine at the end. Okay?
Good morning, everybody. As it shows, my name is Jason Jessamine. I am the division chief with Arizona Fire and Medical, running the emergency management and Homeland Security divisions. So I've been in the fire service. It'll be 28 years starting in January. So I've had a good run, and we enjoy coming out and talking with everybody about any type of emergency preparedness that you guys may want to hear about or have questions about. So I am a very kind of an interactive kind of person. So please, if you have questions, we can stop. We'll bring you a mic so you guys can ask the questions and we can go through it. So for today, we'll see if I can operate this fancy technology because I've been around a long time and normally I'm not the computer guy. I got my guy in the back that normally does all the stuff for me. So there's a couple different things that we'll hit on today, and one of them is kind of like what would you guys do in a potential train derailment out here off of Grand, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff, and we all know that area is a main corridor for you all coming in and out, and so we'll talk about a couple different things here. So we'll talk about the what are the roles of Arizona Fire Medical if there is a train derailment or any type of natural disaster, because as I'm sure most of you guys know, there is a whole bunch of stuff that runs right down that Grand corridor. And there's a whole bunch of what we'll call methyl dethyl stuff that nobody likes to have, and it's all uh, needed for surrounding areas and even California and New Mexico, but there is a main corridor going right down that route. We'll also talk about some roles and responsibilities for you all if something bad does happen, what you guys should do, what you guys should expect, and who wouldn't necessarily be there. Okay. We'll also, how does the fire service prepare for certain things, what you can do, and what happens during those incidents. So, if you guys don't have any questions from that aspect of it, we'll just go ahead and continue forward and see where we're going. So, as most of the citizens know, there's about a 4.5 5 mile train track that covers through the Sun City West area. So not only is there the train goes through here, but we have large natural gas lines. We have other major lines that run through this area. Now, what it does is it allows you guys to be potentially trapped per se in certain areas if something happened, right? So if we're going to go ahead and talk about a potential derailment right here down by where the Del Webb and stuff intersection is, okay? So What we do from Arizona Fire and Medical is that we do have an emergency preparedness division, which I am over currently. We have partners throughout the valley, throughout the region, actually, to talk about and let us know exactly what's coming through, when's coming through, and if something does happen, what we should expect. Okay, so everything's going to be different. Every train is not the same. I mean, we know that the natural gas lines that do run through here, yeah, those are the same. Those will always be the same, and we just don't know how much is coming through per day. That could vary, honestly, minute to minute, hour by hour. But what we do know is, like, if it was a natural gas kind of incident, that we have specific shutoffs that are electronic, that they can shut off, so we can let it bleed off and do our thing. As far as trains, we it's luckily we have great relationships with the train, like BNSF, that kind of stuff, that we can call and go, okay, train number X, what were they carrying? They could tell us the whole manifest of what was going on, right? And so for us in a preparedness deal was we train consistently with our regional partners, and we have luckily, being in Arizona Fire and Medical, we're part of what they call the automatic aid system, and I'll hit on that a little bit more here in a second. But we have access to, honestly, like 25 other departments per se, if something big happens. But our partners, we always meet regionally and with different committees. We are part of a regional emergency management committee, which talks about everything on the west side, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and if something happens, what are we gonna do to mitigate that? And we also prepare in some educational forums. We're always trying to use continuing education, as we call it, to make sure that we are up to date on what's going to happen. Yes, sir.
And show us where those gas lines are?
So we can. So I don't know if this thing has a pointer or not. Right there. So right here, where you have the main railway right here, well, we have natural gas lines that run straight through here, and up here, there's also natural gas lines that run up there. And then some of them roll over all the way to the I-17 and go north and south. And these ones will roll over, cut west, head towards California, and then back down.
Jason, we have a question here.
Yes.
Yes, that's the gas line is between the tracks and our wall then, correct? And that open space between just north of Grand Avenue?
So yeah, you'll see on the sides of the roads every once in a while there'll be like a yellow sticker that pops up, or a little tag that's just showing us where a gas line runs.
But you didn't answer the question. So from Grand Avenue north to our Sun City West wall, is that the area, that open dirt space? Is that where the...
So you're talking right over up in here?
Yes, all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through. So yeah, there is a natural gas line that runs all the way through there, and I don't exactly know the exact road cutoff, but yeah, there is one that runs right through there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so continuing on, some of the roles and responsibilities, right, is like I told you, we're part of an automatic aid system that has no borders. So there's a very good chance that if something big happened here, we could see some municipalities from around the state, right? Or not the state, but the city. Phoenix, even as far down as Chandler, could potentially come up this far, depending on the magnitude of this incident. So we don't have any borders. Here is just a couple of our agencies that would be here first. Being surprised, obviously Sun City would be here, Buckeye, Goodyear, Peoria, and all those. Everybody, Surprise, Peoria, Goodyear, Buckeye, Glendale, Phoenix. They all have what they call hazmat trucks, right? Arizona Fire and Medical does not currently have a hazmat unit, but we are all trained in hazardous materials. So what we would do is we would show up, we would take command as we call it, and get the scene rolling. As these hazmat trucks start rolling in, they're going to take over a haz sector to help us mitigate what's going on. Okay, and that is a huge endeavor because of the magnitude it could be. As I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but just one of the engines on a train carries between 4 to 6,000 gallons of fuel. Just one. And if you see some of these long ones that are about a mile long, right? They could have 3, 4, maybe even 5 total engines. So you start thinking about that. We have 25,000 gallons, 30,000 gallons of fuel just on board those, not including whatever else they could be carrying. Was there a question, sir?
Yes, sir. Is your organization private or is it county, state, or federally funded?
So Arizona Fire Medical is a county. So we are funded by taxpayers like yourself that live in Maricopa County within our jurisdictional boundaries, right? So we have 5 total partners within the authority now, right? So we have Sun City West, we have Whitman, we have which we call North County, we have Sun Lakes, we have Tonopah. We also have now the newly transitioned partner, which is Buckeye Valley Fire District, which is where I originally come from. That's where Al in the back comes from originally too. So this is one big organization now. We call it an authority because we span multiple areas. And just so you guys know, and this is GWIS stuff, that we have 12 fire stations operating 24 hours a day, about 16 ambulances, and 330 members now. So we are a very large organization to help protect our citizens throughout the region. So kind of getting back to a little train derailment portion of it here. So some of our rules and responsibilities would immediate action, right? I hit on it. We would come in there, take command, and we're going to do whatever we can for any type of life safety issue. Now, if we notice that there's not a life safety issue currently, what we do is we do try to step back and slow that incident down so we can mitigate it in a timely fashion. It ain't going to matter with any type of train derailment or natural disaster or even a disaster that is human caused. It is not going to be a fast incident, just so you guys know. And I'll touch a little bit more about that here shortly. But it's going to be something that we have to slow down, take a breath, and look at that big picture. What we really honestly need to do is we got to try to look at everything from a 30,000 foot level. Like if we're flying over in an airplane, that's going to give us that big overview of, okay, here's how big this is, and here's what it is impinging on currently. So we would do a couple different things, and I'm not sure. Did county come out and talk to these guys at all in the past?
Larry?
Okay, so the EOC came out, which is great. Okay, so some of you guys, this is your first one, so you missed that one. So we are in direct contact with the Maricopa County EOC, right? So something like this would have happened. My first call is going to be to them to stand up their EOC, let alone us. And EOC means Emergency Operations Center. So along with me, we would stand up the Arizona Fire Medical EOC. Maricopa County would stand up their EOC, and then we would work together to help mitigate some stuff. Now, if it's something about, hey, we need an evacuation ordered, so Maricopa County Sheriff's is going to help with that. Maricopa County Emergency Management is going to help with that. Arizona Fire Medical would not be a part of that because we're trying to mitigate the situation. But what would happen is there's a couple different things. We've already gridded and met with Maricopa County on certain areas and evacuation routes. So in 2024, everybody's going to be educated on which route would be used. So you would look at your cluster of where you live, and here's what your evacuation route would be, pending this road being closed, that road being closed. So let's say R.H. Johnson is closed. What's going to be your evacuation route? Grand's closed. What's going to be your evacuation route? Even all the way to the northeast of this area, what an evacuation route would be. So we have it all gridded, and what one of the craziest things about technology is that Maricopa County, to anybody that has a mobile device, I have mine over there so I don't mess with them. But anybody has a mobile device, they can pinpoint and grid just an area. So anybody that's in that area could get a message of shelter in place, evacuation route here, that kind of stuff. And it's very pinpoint. And the only downside to that portion of it would be it takes about 30 minutes for that message to get written, to get sent out. So those are that's the only time frame that we would have. But I promise you, we're going to be so busy with the first initial portion of this that 30 minutes is going to be it's going to be crazy. It'll be fast. Yes, ma'am. So
The hospital, do they have, because that's right at the train tracks, do they have their own setup?
so I can. So as their own setup, do you mean like emergency response plan? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The hospitals do have their own emergency response plans. They activate them in drills multiple times a year. So they have their own thing that will lock down whoever is in the hospital will be taken care of. And if it has to be an evacuation, we will utilize the resources that we have. Arizona Fire Medical will be a part of that. We'll have AMR a part of it, Maricopa, any ambulance company that would be in the area, private or municipality, would be a portion of it.
The question?
The alert system you're talking about, do I have to subscribe to a service to receive that alert, or does it come automatically to
It
me?
comes automatically. It's all through Maricopa County and a partnership with every cell phone carrier. So it doesn't matter if you have Sprint, Verizon, Alltel, whoever. Alltel's not even around anymore. Sorry, but anyway, it doesn't matter who it is. You automatically get those. And you may already have gotten something similar on like a silver alert or amber alert, that kind of thing. That is the same kind of mechanism that they would use. And again, just finishing up on this slide is if we do have to have some type of evacuation centers, we will have those known to you through those what we call WIAs. So it's basically a wireless emergency alert. So that'll tell you where those emergency centers are or evacuation centers are. With those, we're also working in conjunction with the county on what we call MC track. MC track is basically it's a reunification. Okay, so this is something exactly that would be utilized for. Is if you get separated from your family members, this MC track would be able to, like, when you go to evacuation center, you can say, hey, here's my wife's name, age, here's her last picture that I have of her, and it goes up into this cloud-based stuff that only us that are on this service utilizes, and then we can pair people together and get you back together with your loved ones. It's an amazing thing. I've been part of this of MC Track since the beginning of the build out, and it's again, like I said, it's a very cool deal that it's completely HIPAA compliant, so nobody gets your information, nobody can sell your stuff, that kind of stuff. It's literally just to get you back with your family members, and it's going to be utilized specifically for mass casualties, for emergencies, just like what we just talked about, even God forbid an active shooter type of scenario. So that's what this is about.
One question before I get to her. Is that picture represent something with the numbers and the...
So those are just those are actual hazmat placards. So this was something that was just put in there just as a Al, I don't know.
So that was a natural train derailment in Phoenix.
Yeah, it was an actual train derailment.
Was it right there at the Grand and like 19th Avenue? Yeah. So Grand and 19th Avenue, they had a train that came off the tracks, and don't know what that one was carrying at that point, but Yeah, it could be cars, it could be anything, so or what have you. But that's kind of this is what we're talking about.
Do the notifications also come to people who have sat phones?
It comes to everybody, whether it's a satellite phone or a cell phone. So part of this is the recovery process, right? So once we do have a train derailment or any type of emergency like that, we're going to have that recovery process. So this includes just taking normal actions to return to a safe situation or safe emergency, right? With that recovery, we're going to have lots of folks coming in. Obviously you'll have whatever the train owners are, whether it's BNSF or whoever. They're going to have hundreds of folks here trying to make sure that they're mitigating their stuff and getting the property that is on that railway cleaned up, taken care of, and removing any rail cars that are damaged. And that could include some massive hazardous materials cleanups. And now we're talking like fuels, right? Hypothetically, I told you how much fuel each engine carries. Let's just say we dumped 10,000 gallons of fuel, of diesel fuel, onto the ground right there. Well, what that does is it brings in heavy equipment, because what the like BNSF would have to do is they would have to come in with big loaders, take out all the fuel, that the dirt that had been contaminated by the fuel, take all that dirt out and replace it with good, clean dirt. So there's no contamination to the water systems or the aquifers or nothing like that. Again, it also uh, include rebuilding any type of railroad tracks that may have been damaged. And these can take, as the slide says, can take months, weeks, or months. Usually, it's a couple month process. Depending on how big the incident was. I know back in the big one out in Hovatter that happened, the train derailment in ours, that was in the early '90s, right? So in like '93 in the Buckeye Valley area, so west of basically in between Harquahala and Tonopah, there was a train derailment there, but it was a terrorism type of derailment, and that one took forever to clean up. And even to this day, even though it's an open investigation still, because they don't know exactly who created that, there's people out there all the time just monitoring certain things to make sure that never happens again. So for you guys in the community, our best thing to tell you is to create your own little emergency plan. Okay, that includes an emergency route if you need it. A lot of times we're going to tell you guys to shelter in place, and because your home's a lot of times the safest place you can be. If you do have to leave, then know which route you're going to take. Make sure you have your own little kit, right? And now we're not trying to say like be a prepper, as they would say, where you have months and months and months of food. We're saying make sure that you have a stockpile of a week or two, because sometimes if your water has to be shut off, you may have to have a couple 5-gallon buckets until we can get the water turned back on. And so just having a little emergency preparedness kit at your house will save you a lot of grief later if you need some of the necessities. That includes all your prescriptions, that kind of stuff. So, yes, ma'am.
When you say shelter in place, so I know that means stay where you are, but do you have to do anything special like turn your air conditioner off? Or, I mean, do you have to seal things up? What do you do?
So, could that happen? Yes, but originally no, or initially no. What we're going to tell you is just go ahead and just stay in place. And now, hypothetically, if there's a potential plume heading somewhere of let's just say of ammonia, right? Nobody wants to breathe ammonia, and if you breathe it in heavy concentrations, it's not really good for you, right? So at that point, we may tell you, okay, shut your air conditioner off and just But other than that, run your day as your normal day. Just stay in the house, stay where you are. Whether it could be even at a store. We could tell you just go ahead and stay at a store for a little while. Let us get this situation under control. Then you guys resume your normal day to day. Yes.
This information you've got up there now, do you have handouts and or that we could take? And or a link that we could go to that where we can get this information
So Al
out?
back here does have some handouts for you guys, and absolutely we can definitely come and share more things with our everybody here that's from Arizona Fire Medical. Could definitely come out and talk to you guys more one on one if you need, or if you need some other information, just reach out and we can get you whatever questions you need answered.
So we have a document on that back table. If anyone's interested, by the cards, you can pick one up on your way out.
Absolutely. So, and I kind of hit this about, having an evacuation plan if need be. That kind of goes up to your emergency plan, right? With your emergency plan, to make sure you do have your evacuation plan. That way you have something in your mind that you know is going to happen, and that you convey that to your loved ones, right? So they know, okay, hey, if we are leaving here and we're separated, we're going to meet at B. And that could be just, you could say, RH Johnson and Stardust, right? Or however that comes about. So just make sure it's just like a fire plan. If you have one for your home, which we strongly recommend, just have a plan B of where you want to meet up with your loved ones, so they know that they're going to go there and meet up with you. Again, if we have to open up a reunification center or evacuation center, that's where we're going to try to utilize the MC track stuff and get you back to your family members faster, okay?
So, Jason, can I just ask the audience a question? Do we have any captains or co-captains of neighborhood watches in here? 1, 2. Okay, so that could be something you could share with your neighborhood just to make sure you're helping the people in your community to get the information, get where they need to go, share rides, whatever it is.
Right, and to finish this up on this aspect of it is transportation, right? So not everybody drives, and so this is something good for the neighborhood watch guys to find out who's able to drive, who's able to or who may have some need for help on getting evacuated if need be. So this is something that's really good, and it's good for us to know too, on the emergency preparedness side, that if you have 15 members in your community that are wheelchair bound, utilize crutches, something like that, that gives us a heads up if something big does happen and we do have to evacuate folks. Okay, so we'll know it's going to take a little longer to remove those guys from the potential hazard. So with that, we do, like we just said, we have some informational handouts out the back, and we'll gladly take any type of questions that you guys have, and hopefully answer everything you need.
So if we have an incident like that, or like East Palestine had and stuff like that, how much percentage of the fire department goes to that, and then does that leave the rest of the community?
So no, so that's when I talked about us being part of that automatic aid system, right? So if we go, we'll just say that we have 60% of our department to that, all of our stations will be backfilled by other departments. So that'll be the surprises, the Peorias, even Phoenixes or something would come up and man our stations for everything else. Yeah. The Phoenix Regional Dispatch Center is an amazing piece of machinery, honestly. There's multiple, even like New York, Boston, areas, Chicago. Those guys come out and watch what our dispatch center's doing and try to mimic it back east. We are very unique throughout the whole United States with fire departments, because we have so many departments under one umbrella in a dispatch center. Back east, there's boroughs, there's individual, dispatches for somebody, and right across the street's another fire department that won't come over on this side of the line, and we don't do that. We broke those boundaries a long time ago, and we literally, I personally have been from Buckeye all the way to Tempe when I was still a captain on a fire truck to help out when there was something big happening over in the East Valley. So that's what's beautiful about this system that we're a part of, and that you guys get your dispatches from, for us to respond to y'all. Yes, ma'am.
So this is just kind of a question about ambulances.
Sure.
If the ambulance ever has to come to our house, is there an insurance we have to pay now that we didn't before? I mean, if most of us have Medicare or whatever it is, but
Okay, so with each ambulance, right, any type of, if you get transported, what happens is we try to utilize whatever type of health care coverage you have. Now, we do have some pamphlets back there that can answer probably some more of those questions, but we will, we try to recoup just a DHS set fee for our department to transport you to the hospital. Now, I know that we've had people that didn't have any money, and we still transport them. We don't turn anybody away. We're not like that. We always take care of our citizens and stuff like that, and we definitely work with everybody. But yes, there is a fee normally for transportation from your house. Yes, sir.
Made or sent out to the person you transported, like a bill or paperwork, but you guys take care of that mitigated, but you still have paperwork for each and every single transportation.
Correct. That's
that
called a
you would
patient
like to
care
get-
report.
You'd like someone to pay for.
So every patient will get a patient care report, and that basically tells exactly what we did to during that transport. And so that goes off to a billing company, a third party billing company, and then they do create a bill on what was done through those DHS regulated fees. There's another one back there. Yep.
I think everything you're saying relies on electrical power. What happens if our grid goes down?
So when your grid goes down, we are partners with APS, right? So what they're going to try to do is reroute power from whatever the issue is to get you guys power back. Cell phones, luckily, as long as they're charged, they'll last a long time, and that's where you're going to get most of your information from. Now, yeah, if it's 115 degrees and you guys lose power for 10 hours, we're going to definitely have something. You guys will get some information on, hey, how about you come to here that has backup generators? There's backup generators throughout the whole Sun City West area in major commercial areas that you guys can go to. So let's just say a Home Depot. You guys can go in there. They got backup generators to make sure that they are, maintaining their air conditioning, especially when it's 115 degrees out. Ma'am.
I have a do not resuscitate in my glove compartment and on my refrigerator. What if I'm walking around? Do I carry another one on my body?
So that's a great question. And for do not resuscitate, we appreciate it in your glove box, but I promise you, we're not going to look in your glove box for it. Okay. We would recommend like you have a bracelet. So I don't know exactly. I know that people have them, but maybe he can tell you.
We have an answer. Hold on.
Several places where you can get medical alerts at any one of the pharmacies. They have a little brochure, or any jewelry store. You can pick out exactly what you want. You could either have a bracelet or a pendant.
Also, I saw it on Amazon. And you can
Okay.
order a whole bunch of cards that say do not resuscitate, like a book of 50 or 20.
Sure.
Have them in every spot
yeah.
that you want.
Well,
And you can tattoo it on your body.
So and it's funny that you say that. I've actually seen somebody actually have it tattooed on their chest, and I was like, oh my gosh! And we found it, the actual paperwork after we saw that. So that is definitely not out of the question. So, but I do recommend that you carry one with you. Again, a bracelet's going to be good. Having it on your refrigerator is also a good idea, especially for us to come into your home. That's one of the first places if we're having to do CPR on somebody, we're going to double check it and make sure that we respect what your wishes are. The vial for all your stuff, yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about the vial in a second when he's done.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't catch you had a secondary question. We would, yeah. We respect your wishes, and that's we are here to serve you as citizens, right? And the last thing we ever want is to go against somebody's wishes. So, sir,
I'm sorry. All I wanted to say was this is good. Everybody shows up here, but
you're on.
But the neighborhood watch, that's the purpose of the neighborhood watch, is for each individual group to watch out for that community. We as a whole, we can't watch everybody. That's why we have watch groups. So as he was saying, as Jason was saying, you know, know your groups, know your community, and know your neighbors. Okay?
Yeah, that tight knit community is a very very important part or piece to this puzzle. Okay, I can tell you where I live in Buckeye, my community. So we live on horse property. We are a very very tight knit community. We have a one way in, one way out kind of deal, and my neighbors call me consistently, like, hey. If it's not an Amazon truck, because my wife loves Amazon, if it's not an Amazon or UPS truck, they call me and go, "Hey, do you guys know who this vehicle is?" Kind of thing, and they know everybody that's in my household, and I know everybody's in their household. So having that tight knit community is a very important piece of this puzzle.
Okay, just as an example, this is an example of the medical ID or medical alert, and you can have them for your wrist. You can put a chain, put something around your neck, and like they were saying, you can go to any drugstore and get information on getting one, jewelry stores, but you can also go online and look for stuff on the internet, and that's where this came from. And I just filled out a form what I wanted on it, and that was it. It came, and
correct.
You wear it, and hopefully it'll
it will
save your life someday.
But actually having that piece of paper, your DNR, that's signed by your doc, is the main thing. Also, right? We do have to look at something that has that signature, because there could be times where somebody has that hasn't had the doc signature, which is fine. We're still going to follow that. But what's going to come into play is that we're going to be questioned later on. Do you have a picture of that DNR? So we'll still follow your wishes, but we're gonna, we'll be talked to you about that. Yes, sir.
Wait. Grab the mic. Who had a question? Wait, give you a mic.
We like bragging.
Excuse me.
When COVID started, my neighbors didn't communicate to one another. So I said, I'll tell you what, guys, I got a big driveway. Bring your chair, bring your refreshments, sit 6 feet apart.
Sure.
And we had started out with about 6 people. Now we're up to 20.
Perfect.
Every Saturday, we have 20 neighbors. And down to 10,
sure.
But basically, higher than that. And we all know one another.
Perfect.
And people up and down the street know us.
Perfect.
It's the neighborhood better than a watch.
Yes.
Because we even have your own refreshment. We don't supply anything.
Perfect. I understand that.
I have one pointed question.
Sure.
We have got an excellent fire department.
Yes, sir.
I've been here for about 40 years in Sun City West living. Okay. It's changed a lot.
Yes, sir.
On my tax form that I paid this year, and by the way, I don't mind paying for good service.
Sure.
But why are there 2 different taxes on the tax form?
So I unfortunately don't have that answer because I have not seen that portion of it. But Yes, you can call our administrative office and you can utilize any call. They can handle it. I don't, anybody right here, I don't honestly have that. Yes.
Okay, just as going back to the ID,
Sure.
it's not just the DNR. Say, for example, I've got this because I have a pacemaker.
Yep.
I am 100% dependent on that pacemaker. If it stops, I stop.
Right.
And it actually happened this summer.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I mean, fortunately, it was in and out, but it was a very dicey situation. But this will alert if you're out. This will alert the fire department or whoever of a situation that
Correct.
I had the hospital even puzzled as to what was going on because I could shut my pacemaker off by lifting my arm up.
Oh, yeah.
And that was it. That was the only thing, but it would shut it off. And until I dropped my arm, which I would when I passed out, and I did, it would come back on.
Right.
But the problem was they didn't know how long it was going to come back on.
Correct.
So,
well, that's great news, and 100% correct. Just to touch on that is, yeah, if you're a diabetic, if you got allergies, if you whatever other type of illnesses that you may have, that pendant is definitely vital information for us. So back to the tax question. You can call our administrative office and talk to Chief Mary Dalton. That's who she handles that kind of stuff for us. No, you haven't been able to do that? Okay. You don't have to. You don't have to go there. You can just call. Okay. I can, and that's okay. Tough questions are okay. I unfortunately don't have it, but I'll find it for you. I mean, I will give you my contact information. I'll find the answer for you. Because I appreciate you, sir.
One other thing I'd like to mention is whenever you do decide to have little groups together for watch group or gathering, you can ask the fire department to come and talk to you. Okay? And they'll be glad to come out. I'm sure they will.
Absolutely, yeah. He's looking forward to it right now. He wants to plan something for next week. So yeah, if there's no other questions, I appreciate your time this morning. Thanks for letting me come and talk with y'all. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Jason. Great presentation. Okay, so I'll take over from now. All right, so just want to go through just a couple more slides. We thought it was a good idea to give you a snapshot of all the different types of meetings we've provided to the community on one slide. So you can see by month, this is what we did in 2023, right? And the last one right there being December the 7th is today. And here we have AFMA. So as we're looking to plan for the following year, right? Here's what we have so far from January through April. We'll talk about active shooter, Alzheimer's Association, something on Sun City Museum, and Vacation Watch. So we do these presentations based on the curiosity or demand from our community. So since I have a captive audience here today, what is it that you'd like to learn more about? Could you let us know because we can add it to our roster? You can see last year what we talked about, right? We had, again, Sun City Museum. It seems to be very popular. Arizona Fire Medical, Vacation Watch, Emergency Preparedness. Actually, we had it twice this year, right? And we have scams, Arizona Rangers, a whole slew of different things. But because we're here to serve you, is there something else that you'd like to learn about? And if so, could you let us know? Could you send us an email? Could you stop by and see us after the meeting? And then we'll get a guest speaker for you, or we'll prepare some information for you. Okay, is that fair? Awesome, thank you. Okay, as we wrap up, 3 things I'd like to point out. A lady in the back mentioned, it was you, I think, believe, put a, this is the vial that we're talking about. The fire department gives us a whole bunch and we keep it in the receptionist area. This is where you would put your very important medication if something were to happen to you. There's a piece of paper inside. It gives you directions on how to fill it out. You put a sticker on your fridge, so if the fire department has to come in, they know that there's some important medication that you have because of the sticker and it'll be in this vial. Okay, so that is really a good service that they provide, and it could be life-saving for you. Depends on what it is. So please be sure we have some in the back, but on the way out, you can also grab one as well. Do you have a question back there? Wait. I got to get you the mic.
Thank you. On the vials of life, you can put the sticker on the refrigerator, but put the vial itself on the inside the door of the refrigerator, because if you're incapacitated or nobody else is around, they will go strictly to the refrigerator and get the vial out. Secondly, please fill out the information by pencil. I don't know how many times you get minutes that are just changed or upgraded or downgraded or anything. So that way you can update your information in a timely manner. But yes, put them in the refrigerator because they can go right there and get it. And it's in the time is the essence.
Thank you. So good thing is put it in the door even, right there. Okay, we have a question?
First, I'd just like to say thank you very much for putting this on. These are the issues discussed here today. It's something I've been wondering about actually for the last 2 or 3 years. Secondly, the information put out today, I'm on the board of directors at POR. So I will make sure that we put all this information that we got today, handouts over there, out to our membership, which is over 4,000 households here. And I will also cause it to appear on Buzz About Town. So anyway, very, very good information, and thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you. That's good feedback. We appreciate feedback, good and not so good, because we only want to be here for you, and we want to make things better. Okay.
Just show of hands, how many people is on Buzz About Town on Facebook? All right.
Buzz About Town on Facebook. Oh, you have a question? One second.
I didn't know about this at all, but I don't have any problems right now, but my husband does. So I was just going to do one of these, but Susan said I should do it too, because if something happens to me, because sometime it's going to, there should be a contact person also for everybody, not just the ones that are now having problems.
Absolutely. Why not be prepared? Wait. 1 second.
Couple other suggestions with this vial of life. If they're naturally, you are not banned, okay? Either put their name on top of the vial, Ben, Susie, Ralph, whatever it may be, or put them both in one vial, all right? Because that way they're, instead of going, and this, not only that, this is a nationwide program. It's not just here locally. So any paramedic, whether it be, in Nova Scotia, they would do the same thing. So, any other questions as far as the vial of life?
I got one in the back. Larry, we have to get more mics. I'm getting my exercise.
Out of curiosity, since Portobello has the same mill zip code that we in Sun City West have, does the posse cover Portobello as well, or is it just restricted to within inside the walls of Sun City West?
No, the posse does not cover Portobello. Just the actual walls of Sun City West, minus Portobello.
Is your mic on?
They fall under MCS.
Oh, another question.
Hi, this doesn't have anything to do with this is back to the railroad tracks. Posse, the sheriff's department, every once in a while you'll see people stop on the tracks when the light is red. Don't stop your vehicle on the tracks, because trains are, might be coming. I've seen it parked up there. So
I've seen it too. Do not stop on the tracks. Absolutely.
You learned that.
That's just like common sense, but sometimes. Okay. So I'm going to, one of my favorite spiels. This is a document that we ask you guys to keep us updated. So to your point about emergencies and who to contact, the posse has a database of your information that you give us, of course. Who's your key holder, if you have one? Do you have a lockbox at your house? Who's your emergency contact? Do you have pets? If you update your information on this sheet, you could do it online too if you're computer savvy. You go to www.posse.org and you fill it online, it's automatic. If not, go see the receptionist, fill one of these out. I'm a dispatcher, and so when we get calls in, we go to the database and we look. If you have a lockbox, we can let the fire department know you don't need to break down the door. They've got a lockbox. Let yourselves in if there's an emergency. If something happens to you, how do we contact your loved ones if you don't give us updated phone numbers, updated names, and things like that? So please help us to help you. So if you have any updates, let us know. And I'm a pet lover. I got 2 little babies at home. I want to make sure nothing happens to them. So this is another document that you have. On the back of it has a bunch of information, phone numbers, all of that. If something were to happen to you, you're brought to the hospital, who takes care of your dogs? Where can we drop them off? Or cats, or bird, whatever it is, let us help take care of them because they're going to miss you and they're going to be stressed out as it is. How do we keep them comforted until you get back? Okay, that's it for us. If you have any questions about Neighborhood Watch, and I'll get to you in a second, if you have any questions about Neighborhood Watch, you want to start one, you want to join one, please come and see us after the meeting. We've got a lot of free information over there. I've got my team over here. We got Pat, Alan, and Sally, of course, Larry, and myself. Happy to answer any questions for you. Okay?
So my question is, how do we get one of those metal signs that say Neighborhood Watch for the light post?
So to get one of those signs, you have to be part of a Neighborhood Watch team, a group in your community, and it can be purchased, Larry, by a donation. We don't accept cash or monies except for a donation. And then I'll help you put it up if you need to put it up. You can get someone in the neighborhood to help put it up. You have to have a watch within that neighborhood to get one of those signs.
Just one more thing. If all my neighbors could close their garage door, it's like every time somebody drives by, they're looking in, they're window shopping, basically. And that's how a lot of crime happens here.
You're absolutely right. Crimes of opportunity are the biggest crimes and easy for criminals.
That's a perfect reason to have that yellow form, Help Us Help You. I'm a nighttime patrol person, and more than likely I have to go to the door because nobody has their Help Us Help You information on file for us. So please help me help you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Karen's one of my drivers. I'm a duty officer. Not last night. We were on till midnight or 11:30. So I'm kind of tired, and I know Karen's tired this morning. But anyway, that garage door, that's our biggest pet peeve. I mean, you look at it, and there's just golf carts, golf clubs, and there's a door there that may not be locked. They go right in. Okay, many times it's unlocked. Okay.
Well, if there's nothing else, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you in the new year. Take care.